Hi, welcome to Virtual CB1A. This is Miss Rena, and for today's video discussion on plane geometry, we are going to discuss complementary and supplementary angles. This is still under the topic angle pairs. So medyo na-discuss na natin to sa trigonometry before. Two angles are complementary angles if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. So each angle is the complement of the other. And we have some examples here of complementary angles. So angle 1 and 2 will form a 90-degree angle together and they share a common side. So we call them complementary adjacent angles. While for this second figure, we have complementary non-adjacent angles. So angle 3 and 4, if you take their measurements, they will add up to 90 degrees, but they don't have a common side. So magkahiwalay sila na angle. Ganon din when it comes to supplementary angles. You can have supplementary adjacent angles and they will form a straight line or 180 degrees. And then for supplementary non-adjacent, again, wala silang common side. Hindi sila magkadikit. So, quick recap. Complementary angles, the sum will equal 90 degrees, and supplementary angles, the sum of the angles will be equal to 180 degrees. Now, let's have here example number 4. Ito, hindi pa natin to kailangan i-transfer sa viewboard. So, for identifying angles, state whether the two angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. So, we have here a clock or two clocks. One is at 4 p.m. And if you are going to measure the angle formed by the hands of the clock at 4 p.m., you will end up with 120 degrees. And then at 10 a.m., you will end up with 60 degrees. If you add 120 and 60 degrees, you will end up with 180 degrees. So the angles are supplementary. Okay? Now let's go to example number 5. So given that A is a complement of angle C and measurement of angle A is 47, find the measurement of C. So all we have to do to get the complement is to subtract 47 from 90. So alam natin na complementary sila, so their sum should be 90 degrees. So 90 minus 47, you will end up with 43 degrees. Now for the measurement of angle P, since supplementary siya with angle R, and angle R measures 36 degrees, then we have to subtract 36 degrees from 180 degrees, giving us 144 degrees. Okay? So now, we have here example number 6, finding the measure of a complement. W and Z, so angles W and Z are complementary. The measure of angle Z is 5 times the measure of W. Find the measurement of W. So, para lang tayong nag-algebra, dealing with word problems. So, I will just paste this on our board. Okay, now we're ready. So, let's assign some variables in finding the measurement of W and Z. Okay. So, the measurement of W plus the measurement of Z should be equal to 90 degrees. But the measurement of angle Z is 5 times the measurement of W. If you want, you can use variables such as X, Y, Z, o kaya A, B, C. It's up to you. So, lagay tayo dito. So, the measurement of angle W, say for example, is X. Now, if we are talking about the measurement of angle Z, 5 times daw siya, so meron tayong 5x. Now, let's try to compute for their sum. So, substitute natin si x at saka si 5x. So, we have here x plus 5x is equal to 90 degrees. Combining like terms, we have x plus 5x, 6x is equal to 90 degrees. Now, divide both sides by 6. You will get the value of x. Okay? So, continue tayo. 6 divided by 6, that is going to be 1. So, you will be left with x. And next, for 90 divided by 6, you will end up with 15 degrees. So, C W, it is equal to 15 degrees. And si 5x, that is 15 times 5, you will end up with 75 degrees. Now, let's check. 15 plus 75, is it 90? Yes, it is 90. Ayan. So, dito, medyo iba yung solution niya kasi hindi na siya nag-assign ng variable. But I think, for it to be less confusing, I suggest that you assign variables for unknown values. But you can also opt with this solution. Tama rin naman to. So, MW, tapos, measurement of W is as is, but the measurement of Z will be 5 times MW. Ginawa ko na lang kasi itong X para less symbols, less confusing din. Okay, so we're done with complementary and supplementary angles. Next up, we are going to discuss, I think sa reasoning and proof na tayo sa susunod eh. So we are going to discuss reasoning and proof. So before I cut this video, check ko lang kung reasoning and proof na talaga tayo sa susunod. Ay, hindi pa pala. Oh, introduction to perimeter, circumference, and area pa pala. Okay. So, hindi ko muna pala ikakat yung video. Mag-ano na tayo, mag-short discussion tayo for perimeter, circumference, and area. Okay, so reviewing perimeter, circumference, and area. So in this lesson, you will review some common formulas for perimeter, circumference, and area. You will learn more about area in chapter 6, 11, and 12. So formulas for the perimeter. Ito yung mga formula na gagamitin natin for the perimeter of a square and area of a square. 4s and a is equal to s squared. For a rectangle, you have the length L and the width W. So for the perimeter, it is 2L plus 2W. Remind ko lang kayo, when we say perimeter, length of all sides lang siya. Okay? And then for the area, two-dimensional na tayo. So it is the product of the two dimensions. So dito meron tayong S. Itong isa, yung length niya is same as the width. So S din yun nandito. Instead of using length times width, you will have S times S, which will give you S squared for square. So remember that all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are square. So instead of using length times width, you only use the variable S for side. Okay, now let's go to triangle. So for triangle, kunin mo lang yung measurement ng isang side, pangalawang side, at pangatlong side, and then add them up. You will have the perimeter. For the area, it is 1/2 times base times the height. For the circle, it is 2 pi r. For the circumference, ang circumference ay counterpart ng perimeter. Length yun nung line that will bound your circle or length nung curve that will bound your circle. So imagine this, if you have a piece of paper, tapos ibinilog mo siya. Di ba nakakabuo ka ng bilog or nakakabuo ka ng circle? But if you lay it out, makakabuo ka ng isang linya. So, ganun din yung idea ng circle. Pagka ito ay, halimbawa, kinat ko dito, tapos ini-layout ko siya ng flat, meron akong straight line, di ba? So, the circumference is the length of the line that encloses your circle. But for the area, yun naman yung nag-fill dun sa loob, itong shaded part. So, that is pi r squared. So, that is the idea of perimeters and areas. Pagka perimeter, nagaano ka lang, nagbabakod ka lang. So, sinusukat mo lang yung length nung mga boundaries niya. But for the area, para kang nagtatile. Sinusukat mo yung amount ng surface na i-cover mo sa loob. Okay? So, again, circumference is the counterpart of perimeter when it comes to circles. And, dito ko na ikakat. The problems will be included in the next video. Pero may time pa ba tayo? Na-late kasi ako ng record since naglolo ko yung laptop ko kanina. Ay, may time pa tayo. Sige. Magsagot na rin tayo ng ilang examples. So, example number 1, finding the perimeter and area of a rectangle. Si perimeter, kahit makalimutan mo itong mga formula mo na nandito, 4S, 2L, P is equal to ABC for square, rectangle, and triangle, okay lang. Kasi ang titingnan mo lang naman, yung sukat ng mga nag-enclose sa kanya. So, lagi mo lang silang i-add, kahit makalimutan mo tong 4S, 2L plus 2W, ABC. Just get the sum of the measurement of each side, you will get the perimeter. So, don't worry too much about the formula of the perimeter. Okay lang makalimutan yan. So, find the perimeter and area of a rectangle of length 12 inches and width 5 inches. So, for the perimeter, let's follow the formula 2L plus 2W. And the length is 12 inches. So, substitute it. We have 2 times 12. Width is 5 inches. Substitute it. We have 2 times 5. 2 times 12 is 24. 2 times 5 is 10. 24 plus 10, 34 units or 34 inches. Now for the area, all you have to do is to multiply. We have 12 times 5, we have 60. And you have to take note that when you are taking areas, lagi yan two-dimensional, so your unit should be in square units. Okay? So just like this one, inches, it is square inches. Or you can also write it as, okay, so 60 square inches. Okay? Okay. Oops. Punta tayo dun sa pangalawa. So, find the diameter, radius, circumference, and area of the circle shown at the right. Use 3.410 as an approximation of pi. So, instead of just reading the solution here, solve natin siya. While doing so, nare-recall nyo rin yung idea tsaka yung mga definition ng parts ng circle. Okay, now let me just copy the circle. Okay, nasa right daw siya, so lagay din natin sa right. So if you will observe here, we have the length for the diameter. Ano ba ang diameter? The diameter is the line from a point of a circle passing through the center to another point in the circle. So, si diameter, lagay tayo ng mga example ng diameter. Itong red. So, from one point of the circle, passing through the center to another point. Pag sinabi nating radius, it is half of the diameter. It is the line segment from the center to any point on the circle. Okay? So, compute natin si diameter. Ano ang measurement ni diameter? So, si diameter ay nandito sa, according sa ruler, from 5 units to 13 units. If you still remember the distance formula, that is only 13 minus 5. You will have 8 units for the diameter. So, check natin siya. Yan, 8 units nga siya. And since we are using a ruler, this is in inches. This one is in centimeters. So, it is 8 cm. And then, for the radius, it is half of the diameter. So, that is d over 2, which will give us 8 over 2, which is equal to 4 cm. Okay? Now, hanapin daw natin si circumference. So, according to our chart, kanina, the circumference is equal to 2 pi r, and the area is equal to pi r squared. And we were given here the approximated value of pi na dapat daw nating sundin. Personally, I prefer using at least 4 decimal places hanggang sa 10 thousandths, 3.1416. But since ang sinasabi nung instruction natin ay 3.14 lang, sundin natin siya. So this is 2 pi r. We are going to have 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 4 cm. So just get your calculator and multiply everything up. We have 2 times 3.14 times 4. That is 25.12 cm. So do not forget the unit of measurement used. Okay? So now, let's go to the area. Baguhin natin yung kulay. So, si area naman, we have pi r squared. So, our area is equal to 3.14 times, ang ingay, times 4 centimeter squared. We have, or 4 cm times 4 cm is equal to 16 square centimeter. So, cm times cm, meron ka ng square centimeter. So, you will end up with 3.14 times 16, 50.24 square centimeters. Okay? Okay. I think napakadali naman nito. Kayang-kaya nyo siya. So, dito, since hindi ako natingin sa solution ng book while showing you the demonstration on how to solve it, nagra-round off siya into 1 decimal place lang. But, sabi ko nga, personal preference ko, I'd like to write my solutions as close as possible to the exact value. So, hanggat kaya ko, naglalagay ako ng mas maraming decimal point. Lalo na kapag walang condition na binigay. It is my personal rule, I always use at least 4 decimal places pag walang condition na ibinigay yung problem. Okay, so, ito na tayo sa example 3, finding measurements of a triangle in a coordinate plane. So, find the area and perimeter of the triangle defined by D is equal to 1, 3, E is equal to 8, 3, and F is equal to 4, 7. So, dito, medyo gagamit tayo ng distance formula. pero hindi kasing complicated nung distance formula that we employed before sa mga dati nating problem. Bakit hindi? Kasi if you are going to take notice of our figure here, hindi komplikado yung pagkuha ng base at height since the lines are just vertical and horizontal. Okay? So, common sense lang yung gagamitin natin pagkuha dito ng ng base at height. Okay. So, para lagi kayong sure sa mga sagot nyo, I suggest that while you are solving the problem, make sure that you always check whether your formula is correct. Yan. Lagi kayo maglagay dito ng cheat sheet. Hindi ko naman kayo kita eh. So, lagi kayong tumingin dun sa formula hanggang makabisado nyo siya. Kapa-practice nyo, makakabisado nyo yan lagi. So, unahin natin si perimeter. Okay, so si perimeter, it is A plus B plus C. So, this is the first side, the second side, and the third side. So, wala tayong measurement ni FD, wala tayong measurement ni FE, wala tayong measurement ni DE. So, we have the perimeter is equal to DF or FD plus the measurement of EF or FE plus the measurement of DE. So, before tayo magkuha ng perimeter, kunin muna natin itong mga to. So, if you still remember the distance formula, unahin natin si DF. It is the square root of x sub 1. Lagay ko dito si distance formula ha. So, the distance is equal to the square root of x sub 1 minus x sub 2 or x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Sabi ko nga, pwede silang magkabaligtad. Squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared ulit. So, df, assign tayo ng variables. So, ito yung gusto kong maging x sub 1, ito yung gusto kong maging y sub 1, ito yung gusto kong maging x sub 2, ito yung gusto kong maging y sub 2. Yan. So, we have 4 minus 1 squared at saka 7 minus 3 squared. So, we have here 4 minus 1, edi 3. 3 squared. 7 minus 3. Meron kang 7 minus 3, 4. 4 squared. So, you're going to end up with 9 plus 16 is equal to square root of 25. You will end up with 5. So, meron na tayong measurement ni DF which is 5. That is 1. Kunin natin si EF. Si EF, ito naman siya. So, EF, this time, ang gusto ko maging x sub 1 at y sub 1 ay itong si E. Hindi ko ito papalitan. X sub 2, y sub 2 pa rin to. X sub 1, y sub 1. So, we have here square root of. So, ito ay 4 minus 8 squared plus 7 minus 3 squared. You will end up with 4 minus 8 is negative 4 squared. And 7 minus 3 is also is also 4 squared. So we have here 16 plus 16, which will give us square root of 32, which can then be um, transformed into 16 times 2, which will give us 4 square root of 2. So, meron tayo ditong 4 square root of 2. Okay? Next, dito tayo sa DE. Ito madali lang. If you will take notice, magsisiro na siya sa y, 'di ba? 3 minus 3, 0 na siya. So pag nakakita kayo ng horizontal line or vertical line, parehas ng isang pair ng isang coordinate, halimbawa parehas sila ng y coordinate or parehas sila ng x coordinate. Mag-focus na lang kayo dun sa hindi parehas kasi magsi-0 na 'to. Okay? So all we have to do is to subtract 8 at saka 1. So 8 minus 1, you have 7. So, si DE, sulat na lang natin siyang ganito. DE is 7. So, meron ka ditong plus 7. And then, just combine the terms. We have 7 plus 5, 12. Hindi natin pwede i-combine si 4 square root of 2. So, you will end up with 12 plus 4 square root of 2. Okay? So, tingnan nga natin yung solution dito. I think dito nag-ano siya eh. Ayun. So, 12 plus 4 square root of 2 units. Kasi wala naman tayong nakalagay kung inches siya, or feet, or centimeter. So, you have to leave it using the word units. So, wag tayo mag-a-assume ng kung ano-ano lang na units. Kung wala nakalagay na inches, wala nakalagay na centimeter, unknown kung anong unit siya, unit of measurement siya, just write unit. So, meron na tayong perimeter. Yan, si perimeter. Kunin naman natin si area. Si area, dalawa lang yung kailangan natin. Ito, which will serve as our base or our B. Tapos si FG or G. Tama, FG or GF. So, we have here FG, which is equal to, since pareha sila ng abscissa or x-coordinate, 4 minus 4, it will be 0. Focus na lang tayo dun sa magkaiba. So, 7 minus 3 is 4. So, meron kang 4 units. Now, kunin natin yung area using the formula 1/2 BH. So, ito yung magiging height natin or h. Okay? Now, let's substitute the values. We have 1/2 times the base, which is 7, times the height, which is 4. So, 1/2 times 7 times 4, we have 28. And then, kalahati ng 28, we have 28 over 2. We are going to have 14 square units. Okay? So, this is our final answer for the area. Now, let's check kung tama. Yes, 14 square units. Okay, may isa pa bang example dito? Ay, wala na. Yan. Ito word problem na to. So, hindi ko na siya i-discuss. Application na siya nung natutunan nyo from our problem solving earlier. So, I will leave that to you. Thank you very much for listening and see you next time. Bye!